In this video, we're going to show you how to replace a front axle on your Chevy Sonic. This will be located behind the front wheel. Let's get started. Using a 19mm socket, remove the 5 lug nuts. Remove the wheel. Using a 36mm socket, remove the axle nut. Push on the axle, be sure it moves freely inside of the hub. If it does not, use a soft face hammer and tap the end until it's able to move. Remove the brake hose from the bracket, pull straight out. Do the same thing with the ABS wire. Pull it straight out of the bracket. Using a 21mm wrench, we're going to hold the bolt while we use a 21mm socket to remove the nut for the strut. Do the same thing on the bottom. Thread the nut on until it's flush with the end of the bolt. Using a hammer, we're going to tap it out. The front of these bolts are keyed in. Do the same thing on the bottom. Using a soft face hammer, we're going to continue tapping the bolt out of the knuckle. Do the same thing on the bottom. You don't have a soft face mallet, you can use a hammer and a punch and go in the middle of the bolt to pop them out. Fully remove the bottom bolt. Remove the top bolt. Using a pry bar, we're going to pry the knuckle out of the strut. Push on the front of the axle to push the axle in. And let the knuckle fall forward. Do not let any pressure hang on these hoses. Push the axle in through the hub. Pull the knuckle forward. Wiggle the half shaft going into the hub until you're fully able to remove the axle. When you remove it, pull it down to the side. Be sure you're not pulling on the brake hose. We're going to tilt our knuckle backwards. I'm going to use a small hook to go around the knuckle and pull it back towards the body so it doesn't fall forward and put any tension on our hoses. Using a pry bar, we're going to pop the axle out of the transmission. We're going to get on the lip of the axle and give it one good pop. You'll hear the D-ring let go and you'll see the axle pop out. Be sure you have a drain bucket under you before you do this. Some fluid may come out. Remove the axle from the vehicle. Pull straight out. Install the new axle. Get it lined up with the transmission. Get it lined up so the splines are lined up. Using a soft face mallet, tap the axle in until it's fully seated. Get the axle fully seated. I'm going to remove the hook that's holding up my knuckle. Pull the knuckle forward. Get the axle installed. Be sure that the ABS and brake line are on the outside of the knuckle. Get the axle fully seated in the hub. Push the knuckle into the strut and pull the strut to the knuckle. We're going to install our bottom bolt first. Get it started. Push on the top of the brake rotor and get the top bolt installed. Using a soft face hammer, tap the bolts into place. Avoid hitting your ABS line and your brake line. Get the nuts started on the back side. Use a 21mm wrench to hold the head of the bolt while using a 21mm socket to snug it down. Pull the bolt into the knuckle. Torque the nuts to 82 foot-pounds. Do the same thing on the bottom. Install the brake hose into the bracket. Install the ABS wire into the bracket. Install the axle nut. Get it started by hand. I'm going to use a punch inside of the fins in the rotor. And we'll torque our axle nut to 244 foot-pounds. Remove your punch, stake the axle nut, install the wheel, get the lug nuts started by hand, snug the nuts down, torque the lug nuts to 100 foot-pounds in a star pattern. And you're good to go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.